Hello, my name is Nyoman Gede Aryo Kawitnyana. Today, me and my group would like to present our mathematical modeling and computation project, which title is Discrete Spatiotemporal Model to Projecting High School Net Enrollment Rate in Special Region of Yogyakarta Province. Indonesia Emas 2045 is a long-term goal to transform Indonesia into a developed country by the centennial of its independence in 2045. The main purpose is to achieve high income status through various aspects. Some aspects are high quality human resource, strong economic, technological innovation, and poverty reduces. All these aspects can't be separated from the equalizing of education. Therefore, to satisfy these aspects, one of the crucial indicators is high school net enrollment rate, or NER, because high school level plays a crucial role in character and labor basic skill development. NER is a proportion of number of 50 to 19 year age registered in high school to population of 50 to 19 year age. Yogyakarta Province is known as Kota Pelajar with very high Human Development Index or IPM. However, this province still faces disparities in net enrollment rate between regency, especially between center of education, which is Yogyakarta City, and supporting areas such as Gunung Kidul and Kulon Progo. One of the main causes is poverty level and school capacity. High poverty level can directly affect the family affordability for higher education. Meanwhile, small school capacity cause the numbers of youth age can't be optimally accommodated. It means that the NER growth follows logistic growth. Here are some previous resources that we use in our project. The first one is from Mamase in 2025, with research to analyze the demographical aspect and projecting NER in middle school in Gorontalo with time series using ARIMA. The research shows that demographic dynamics, including spatial interaction, significantly affect the NER. And the second is from Rahma in 2019, with research aimed to modeling the NER in Mataram City, Lombok, with special interactions aspects such as infrastructure and accessibility. The result shows that spatial interaction affect the NER value. And the third is from Reganata and Purwati in 2026, which aim to identifying the factor that affect the school enrollment rate or SER, which is the more general form of NER, and SER forecasting in 2024 to 2030 period. The result shows that the most significant factor in is gross regional domestic product, which is affect the poverty level in that area and area or regional competitiveness. Therefore, we propose a model that integrates spatial interaction and spatial drift or attraction of center of education. Since our data is discrete, then we propose a discrete difference equation with forward difference model. There are three problems that we propose in our research. The first is how is the NER trend in Yogyakarta province in 2025 to 2030 period. Second is what is supposed to do to encourage equal education distribution, and the third is with the aim to equalizing education in Yogyakarta province, how accurate the proposed model to projecting NER. According to the problem that we proposed earlier, then the purpose of this research is to propose an appropriate model to projecting NER growth in Yogyakarta province and comparing it with the ARIMA model. And second is to provide policy recommendation based on the projecting result to support the equalizing of education distribution.
My name is Moda Herani and I will explain the methodology used in our study. Overall, our research consists of 6 main stages: data collection, data pre-processing, spatiotemporal model development, parameter estimation, validation, and projection until 2030. For the data, we use net enrollment rate or NER from 2010 to 2024 as the main variable. We also included poverty data, population data, and student mobility data obtained from the 2025 PPDB system. These data were collected from Statistik Indonesia and the Regional Education, Youth and Sport Office of Yogyakarta. Since this study applies a spatial approach, we first define the spatial structure of Yogyakarta Spatial Region. The study area consists of 5 regions: Sleman, Yogyakarta City, Bantul, Gunung Kidul, and Kulon Progo. The spatial relationship among these regions were represented using the adjacency matrix, which allow the model to capture interaction between neighboring areas. Our model is built from 3 main components: spatial interaction, spatial drift, and logistic growth. The first component, spatial interaction, represents the influence of neighboring regions. In other words, educational participation in one area may affect participation in nearby areas through spatial connections. Next, the second component, spatial drift, represents the movement of students toward an educational center. Based on PPDB mobility data, Yogyakarta City was identified as the educational center because it attracts the highest number of students from surrounding regions. Next, the third component, logistic growth, describes the natural growth of NER over time. To ensure realistic projections, the model assumes a maximum NER value of 100%. These 3 components are then integrated into a single spatiotemporal model. Therefore, future NER values are influenced by neighboring regions, student mobility, and internal growth dynamics at the same time. Before running the simulation, several pre-processing steps were performed. First, we constructed the adjacency matrix and the spatial operator. Next, PPDB data were transformed into a mobility matrix to calculate student inflow and outflow. We also approximated the school age population and projected poverty values until 2030 using ARIMA forecasting. To obtain the optimal parameters, we calibrated the model by minimizing the difference between observed NER values and model predictions. This difference was measured using the sum of square error, and the optimizations was performed using the LBF-GSB algorithm. Finally, the historical data were divided into 3 phases. Data from 2010 to 2022 were used for training and parameter estimation, while data from 2023 to 2024 were used for validation. After validation, the model was used to project NER from 2025 to 2030. To evaluate the model performance, we use the mean absolute percentage error. Based on the Lewis classification, lower MAPE values indicate better predictive accuracy, with values below 10% categorized as very accurate. We also compare the projections generated by our spatiotemporal model with those obtained from the ARIMA model to assess their consistency and predictive behavior.
Hello everyone, I'm Fatia from Group 5. In this section, I will present about result and discussion on projecting senior high school net enrollment rate in Yogyakarta Spatial Region until 2030 using a spatiotemporal model. Okay, first we found the spatial drift center using PPDB data from 2025. So in this data, if we look in the table, Yogyakarta City had the highest positive net flow at plus 2,355. That means a lot of students move into the Yogyakarta City. Meanwhile, in this data too, we look Sleman, Gunung Kidul, and Kulon Progo, they were in the negative. Some more students left those areas. Now, since we don't have annual data PPDB from 2010 up to 2030, we just assume Yogyakarta City as the drift center the whole time. And honestly, that makes sense because Yogyakarta has always been the education hub in this region. Okay, next, poverty affects the NER, but we don't have actual poverty data from 2026 to 2030, so we forecast poverty percentage using the ARIMA model. Here is what we got: Sleman, Yogyakarta City, Bantul, Gunung Kidul, and Kulon Progo. And then we use these numbers as the poverty input in our model. Here is parameter estimation results. We estimate the parameter for our model using training data from 2010 to 2022. So basically, these parameters help us understand three simple things. First, how fast the NER grows. Second, how much neck boring regions actually matter. And third, how much poverty slows things down. And for the first, we got spatial interaction coefficient, D equals to 0.338, and the second, base growth rate, R0, we got the value is 0.131, and the last, poverty threat coefficient, alpha equals to 0.005. We check our model's accuracy using MAPE, and if we remember about the classification of the value of MAPE from Lewis, both are below 10%, it means the model is very accurate. And interestingly, if we look at both values of MAPE, the validation MAPE is even lower than training. So our model actually predicts future data better than past data. Here is the complete historical data from 2010 to 2024 and complete with our projection until 2030 for all regions. You can see that all lines are trending upward. The gaps between regions also get smaller over time, especially after 2025. Based on our model's projection, the gap drops from 19.6% in 2010 to only 0.66% in 2030. And if we look the table, Bantul has the highest project increase because it starts from the lowest, and Yogyakarta has the smallest project increase because it was already high from the beginning. Okay, let's compare our spatio-temporal model with ARIMA model. If we look in the table, the projection from ARIMA model that more fluctuative than spatio-temporal model, but ARIMA only look at one thing, it is historical data. It just project based on past number. But in our model, consider more factors. We include student mobility data based on PPDB data, poverty levels, population, and also the influence from neighboring regions. So I can say our model is more realistic than ARIMA model. One example in our projection for Gunung Kidul is higher than ARIMA's because Gunung Kidul is next to Sleman and Bantul, and those regions can influence to Gunung Kidul. Okay, now let's connect our model to Indonesia Emas 2044. As you can see on this slide, the government vision focus on human development, especially equitable quality education. And according to our model projection, equity is actually achievable. By 2030, the gap between regions in Yogyakarta drops to only 0.66%. But here is the key point. Our model also shows what needs to be improved because remaining challenges still exist. And as Minister Abdul Mukti said, disparities in access in disadvantaged areas and quality gaps across regions still need to be addressed. So in the end, our model helps show that equity is possible, but policies still need to focus on those remaining gaps. Okay, in this slide, I will explain about policy implication from our model. The first, poverty reduction. Our model shows that the poverty slows down educational growth. So we need to strengthen like scholarship and program like PKH, especially in Gunung Kidul and Kulon Progo. And the second, build school in the right places. Because neighboring regions influence each other, if we build good school in Sleman on Bantul, it will also help Gunung Kidul and Kulon Progo. And the third, access to education center. From our data, Yogyakarta City is where most students want to go. So, one way to solve this is by improving transportation from nearby areas. But eventually, it's better to build new education centers in Sleman or Bantul. So, we are not depending too much on just one city like Yogyakarta City. The conclusion, Basically, our model shows that educational equity in Yogyakarta is achieved by 2030. The gap between regions keep getting smaller, and our model is quite accurate with a MAPE of 505%. So, our recommendation for police, for the first, reduce poverty in Gunung Kidul and Kulon Progo, build better schools in Sleman and Bantul, and create new education centers so we are not just relying on Yogyakarta City. And next, for future research, we suggest using annual PPDB data, celebrating region-specific carrying capacities, and adding other variables like teacher-student ratio and school facility quality. And the last, we want to say thank you to Mr. Fajar and Mr. Ranang for guiding us. And we apologize if there are any mistakes in our presentation. Thank you very much and thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.